Hi, my name is Chass, and I want to talk to you about my dad and him coming to know the Lord because I would move when opportunities presented themselves. During the end of the summer of '09, I was home alone with my father, and he needed to be rushed to the hospital because his appendix ruptured. And that gave me a perfect opportunity to pray for him before he went into surgery as well as after he got out of surgery.
As Chass was saying the prayer, I started to cry. I guess that's when I really felt that I needed the Lord.
After my dad got out of the hospital, he started coming to Alpha, and he was able to see, because you sit in small groups and you listen to a message and talk about it, what mini church is like. And before, I think he thought he had to know how to pray and he had to know his Bible before going to mini church, and he was able to see that no, he's accepted and loved for exactly who he is and where he is.
So in the meantime, as all this was going on, Chass had she had a place of her own. She bought a place and she needed some painting done. So I thought that since I have to have my stitches healed, I told her, okay.
At around that same time, I was thinking about possibly going to Kenya.
So I asked her, hey Chass, what is this about Kenya? And she told me that she's thinking about going there on a mission trip. And I said, oh, okay.
It was after going to one of the first meetings and we discussed what we were going to be doing there, which was painting classrooms. Because my dad had been painting my house, it sparked a thought in me of, hey, my dad can do this.
Mondays was a meeting, and this Monday was coming up, so Chass asked me to go. So I said, what for? She must be crazy. I would never go there. When you talk about it's a third world country, that's a third world country.
I thought there was no way he would come, but what's the harm in asking?
So I said, okay, come and pick me up. So she picked me up and we went to this meeting.
I was definitely praying that if this is what you want to happen, then please let me step up and do what you're asking me to do. Because I knew that it would change him for the rest of his life.
So I kept on asking Chass about coffee. And Chass kept on saying, there won't be any coffee. So I told her that every morning I need this cup of coffee, at least 1 cup. So as time went on, I went to those meetings. I asked Kathy, will there be any type of coffee where we are going to? And Kathy said no. So I thought, okay, strike 1 with Chass, strike 2 with Kathy. I guess going to Africa is out of the question. Then I cannot remember which meeting it was. Kathy said, oh, I have some good news for you. That where we are staying, there will be instant coffee. When I found that out, the next meeting that we decided on to have, I told Chass I would drive myself to the meeting. How's that?
I think it's huge that it was totally God that he was able to do that round trip with one leg being about a total of 25 hours flying time, not including layovers, because he has a really bad back and he has a hard time just going to Vegas. And so we thought that he would be miserable, and he was completely fine the whole time. And that's because we covered him in prayer constantly about it.
I'm very glad that I went to Africa to see how they live and how we live. That was just a life-changing experience.
It was neat to hear about my dad getting up every morning when it was still dark and having his time with God. And I knew God was doing a lot during those moments.
I had a chair out by the door, and I was reading the Daily Bread and the Bible with my flashlight. Since it was pitch dark, we had to use a flashlight. While sitting on the chair, I just felt something was around me. So I started from the left, circling around, coming to my right. And when I came to my right side, in the back of my right shoulder, there was a spirit. And that spirit looked like God himself. Gives a slight picture. First, I was scared. But then I realized, oh no, this is good.
He was a completely different person. He was dancing, he was singing, he was smiling and loving those children, and seeing his heart just melt for those people. I think it's important that from this, my dad is completely open to things. He doesn't say no. It's more, well, if that's where God wants me. And I think that's awesome, to be so open to wherever and whatever it is that God wants him to do.